Adventure Time is weird. One moment you're watching candy people dance, and the next you're spiraling into an existential horror show. But there are two episodes that stand above the rest, not just as creepy cartoons, but as genuinely disturbing stories with deeper meanings hiding beneath the surface. Today we're diving deep into The Blank-Eyed Girl and Mortal Recoil, two episodes that don't just mess with your head, they stay there. And by the end of this video, you might just see them in a way you never have before. On the surface, it feels like your classic horror homage. Creepy noises, dark forests, cryptic warnings. It's basically The Ring meets suburban paranoia. But there's a twist. This isn't just a ghost story. It's a psychological experiment, and maybe a spiritual one too. The premise. The episode begins pretty chill. Finn and Jake munching pizza, listening to a spooky radio show by Starchy. They're in the middle of an ordinary day when suddenly a banana guard calls in with an urgent message. He saw a girl with hollow blank eyes at the laundromat. They don't think much of it until they start hearing strange noises at home. This is where the tension starts to build. Finn and Jake are not alone. There's something out there, and it's not just a regular ghost story. These blank-eyed girls, they have a deep philosophical connection to the nature of fear itself. The Tulpas theory. Here's where things get fascinating. After they start investigating, they stumble upon an old book with a ritual. They perform a series of bizarre actions, like wearing chicken costumes and playing clarinet music, but nothing seems to stop the girls. So they head to the library, where they come across an ancient phenomenon, tulpas. In Tibetan Buddhism, a tulpa is a being or object created through mental focus and spiritual energy. It's a thought form brought into reality by intense concentration and belief. Adventure Time uses this concept to explain the blank-eyed girls. They don't just appear, they exist because Finn and Jake believe in them. It's their fear and fascination that brings them to life. This episode is so much more than spooky noises and creepy characters. It's a deep dive into existential horror. The girls aren't just after Finn and Jake, they are a manifestation of their thoughts, their emotions, and perhaps even their guilt. In a way, they represent the fear of the unknown. The more you try to fight them, the stronger they get. Like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video so far. The resolution. The climax is incredible. Jake eventually realizes that the only way to make the girls disappear isn't to fight them, but to accept them. When Jake acknowledges the girls' existence, they change. They transform into something different, almost serene. They float up into the sky, dissolving into dandelions, and are gone. And just like that, the horror is over. But what does that mean? Was the horror real? Or was it just a projection of Finn and Jake's minds? Were these girls even real? The show leaves it open-ended, and it's chilling because we're left to ask ourselves if fear is something we can control, or if it controls us. And then BMO drops the final line,
I think it was beautiful.
A perfect, eerie ending. What if the whole episode was just a metaphor for growth, transformation, and letting go of fears? If The Blank-Eyed Girl is a psychological thriller, Mortal Recoil is a horror movie with no filter. It doesn't waste time building tension, it jumps right into the emotional and physical horror, twisting the characters and their relationships in disturbing ways. This one's all about possession, love, and loss. The setup. It starts immediately after the events of Mortal Folly. Princess Bubblegum is critically injured and in a coma. When she wakes up, something is wrong. She's different. Her voice is colder, her eyes empty. Peppermint Butler, the one character who's typically unfazed by anything, is visibly freaked out. He's never this nervous before. The real horror sets in when the Ice King, despite his usual goofiness, warns everyone about what's happened to PB. He claims that he saw something when PB fell into the well, but no one listens to him. They think he's just being paranoid, but the truth is, PB is possessed by the Lich. The Lich's influence. The Lich isn't just a villain. He is the embodiment of death and decay. He's the darkness in the world, the force that seeks to undo all life. And now he's using Princess Bubblegum's body to carry out his plans. The transformation happens slowly at first. PB starts acting strangely. She's obsessed with collecting bizarre items. Her movements become erratic, and the people around her start noticing that something is very wrong. But Finn, he's too wrapped up in his own emotions to see it at first. He's convinced that her behavior is just a result of the trauma she's been through. But the real moment of horror comes when PB's appearance begins to change. Her face literally melts off, revealing the grotesque nature of the creature now inhabiting her body. She grows into a towering devouring monster made of candy and decay, a manifestation of the Lich's influence. The fight for PB's soul. It's an emotional roller coaster. Finn's first instinct is to protect PB, to fight for her because, well, he loves her. But his love isn't enough to save her. He throws his sweater at her like it's a weapon, but it does nothing. At this point, we realize that Finn's pure-hearted approach won't work here. Love doesn't always conquer all, especially not when something as malevolent as the Lich is involved. In a surprising twist, Ice King, of all people, becomes the key to saving Princess Bubblegum. The one who's always been seen as a joke and an annoyance, the one who's often dismissed, is the only one who knows what to do. He freezes PB in a desperate attempt to stop the Lich from taking over completely. But even that doesn't work. PB shatters, and the doctors try to reassemble her, but something's missing. The combination of the Lich's evil and the trauma PB endured leaves her incomplete. They can't put her back together fully. She's now 13 years old. The horrifying part is that PB doesn't even seem to care about the consequences of her transformation. She's just different. The emotional horror Mortal Recoil taps into some of the deepest fears we face as humans. Losing control, losing someone you love to something you can't fight. It's not just about defeating a villain, it's about dealing with the aftermath, about the emotional and physical toll that comes with facing forces beyond your comprehension. And then, in the final moments of the episode, there's a haunting twist. The Lich didn't just leave PB's body, his influence lingers in the form of Shelby the snail, still possessed. The show ends, leaving us with the unsettling feeling that the evil isn't gone, it's just waiting. Adventure Time doesn't need jump scares to terrify you. It plays a deeper game. It takes your emotions, your love, your fear, your trust, and turns them into something strange and unforgettable. The Blank-Eyed Girl scared us with silence. Mortal Recoil scared us with loss. Both episodes teach us that sometimes the scariest things in life aren't monsters or ghosts. They're the things we can't control. So which episode do you think is the creepiest? Do you think the Blank-Eyed Girl was a metaphor for fear, or was it something more spiritual? And what about Mortal Recoil? Is the Lich still out there, waiting for the right moment to strike? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Catch you in the next one.